Scat, here's your Goblin episode. Hope you enjoy. Hiya, I'm Ink and welcome to my Nook. Hope everyone feels good in their space today, and if not, try cleaning up a couple things. I'm fine if you have me going on in the background while y'all get some chores done. Feels good to be in a neat space, even if you're one of those chaos goblins. For those of y'all who are tuning in for the first time, this is a weekly monster making show. We start out with selecting 4 cards to serve as a visual prompt, draw a creature that follows those prompts, make some lore, and fill out a monster card so y'all can use these creatures at your table. With no further ado, let's move on to the lore. There's an ancient order of knights who hide in the smoke, their presence always known but indistinct. No one outside of the order knows how their abilities and magic works, but what they do know is that this group knows how to fight and how to win. They guide the courses of entire wars with assassinations, carefully planned ambushes, and infiltrations into dungeons to recover highly valued artifacts. Which leads me to question why a goblin of all things was let into their order. I mean, this one does not follow commands, shirks their duties, and disappears at random times to do something. But maybe they didn't have a choice. What would happen if someone broke into the secret base, started figuring out their secrets, and was not dying when they tried to kill them? Well, that's when you have to induct them as a member. Though this knight is of a special class. They were not spirited away as a child, brainwashed with the ideals of the order, trained to master the smoke, and thrown into the assassination missions. But this intruder can still be useful. They can reinforce the stories told about the Knights of the Smoke, help show how terrifying a knight is by having one go rogue. The chaos and fear that they would sow would be perfect for the order, as long as they keep their rogue knight away from the more delicate situations. Then they could be really useful. So, this is a lot of info about the knight, but how could they infiltrate the order's base in the first place? And how could they resist the assassination attempts when the order tried to kill them? Well, how about we take inspiration from a certain character archetype that a specific goblin in my life loves to use. The D&D 5th edition barbarian rogue build my brother, Scat, calls the movie monster. The main traits are that they're like Jason Voorhees, sneaky, hits like a truck, and extremely hard to kill. There's even a story he likes to tell about doing a raid night where he jumped into the boss room with 4 dragons, and after 5 rounds, he told all the DMs at the table, "Congratulations." They asked, "Are you dead?" "No, I'm almost bloodied." These aspects would let our goblin intruder become both a pest and very interesting to the order, leading to this creature being inducted into said order. Then, once taught, this rogue knight would be released into the world to spread fear and stories of the Order of the Smoke far and wide. Alrighty, I like the direction we're moving in. Let's move on to filling out the character cards. The name, pretty easy here, Goblin of the Smoky Knights. Next we have the abilities. First off, Smoky Body is pretty easy. The knight is able to turn their body into smoke and drift around. Also, avoiding attacks by turning to smoke is pretty cool. This also enhances the knight's already ridiculous endurance and adds some more stealth opportunities. Next, we'll go with the suggestion from Scat of the smoke being an active experiment for the knight. For example, they could use drug smoke to disorient it, add spices to make people choke, or add sand to melt and make glass on their eyes? Hey, Scat, what do you mean by this?
So what you have done is you have put glasses on their face, which thus makes them dorks, and everybody knows a dork is weak. On top of that, you have opened up a vital weak point on their face. But when you both shatter their glasses, it will force them to both have to deal with the glasses in their eyes, and then also the fact because they're dorks, they no longer can see.
But they could see before you turned them into dorks?
Not anymore.
You know what? Fair enough. And as you can see, there's a level of ingenuity inherent in many goblins. Thank you very much for your contributions, Cat.
Go to hell.
All right. Finally, let's do something to lean into the untamed nature of this knight. Maybe something simple, like chaotic ingenuity. That could be used to give bonuses to any plain, just silly or ridiculous enough plans that would work. Something maybe like putting glasses on your opponent and then breaking those glasses. Now for the stats. As usual, we'll be using the D&D 5th edition stat spread. Strength. For this knight, their strength is what earned them these smoke abilities in the first place, so a 4. Constitution, similar as above, but even more, 5. Not nearly as much for dexterity, but the knight is an experienced and skilled fighter in their own way, so 2. Now for the mental stats. Y'all can probably guess where this is going. Intelligence, -2. The extent of this knight's math is 2 guards minus 2 fists equals nobody's guarding the door. Wisdom, -2. When someone's plan to take on an entire castle's defense is, I'll just punch whoever's there with the glasses, and if they don't have glasses, I'll give them glasses. There's probably not much going on in their head that would apply here. Charisma. This I'll give a begrudging 2. Goblins be funny. It's right here in the notes that Scat handed me. All right, let's wrap up with the core phrases. First off, let's go for that wild nature. Maybe something along the lines of, I'm too powerful to be contained. Next, I really like the phrase, I'm just a silly guy, I promise. First things first, we know that this is a lie, or at least interpreted in 2 very different ways. People would take this phrase to mean that the knight is an innocent little prankster who doesn't cause much damage or hurt anyone, maybe causes a mess to clean up. While for the knight, a good prank on the king would be burning down the entire castle. Yes, including the bricks. Finally, I'm durable enough to get out of anything. That is kind of the idea behind this knight. There's nothing that would truly be able to stick to them because they just don't get hurt. I mean, that's how they got in the Order of the Smoke anyway. And that's that. This episode got, well, out of control, let's say. Thank you to Scat for serving as inspiration for this week's monster, and I hope you're happy with your Goblin episode. I'll be back next week for another monster for the rest of y'all. With that, let's bring this video to a close. For those of you with dark skies, good night. And if you have bright days, good morning. Whatever part of the world you're from, I hope you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Goodbye.